Hey there, hey Brent, hey Natalie. We are now recording. Folks are starting to join us. While everybody joins, you can go ahead and mute yourself and we'll let folks get ready.
Okay.
Good. I'm going to get some coffee.
Can you hear me, Jackie?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
And hello to the folks who are joining us. I know it is just 4:30 on the dot. So we are going to give a couple moments, let a few more join us in here, and we will begin.
Okay.
All right, welcome everybody to our first quarterly business forum with the North Florida District Office SBA and the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. My name is Jackie Geary. I am the director here at the Jacksonville Women's Business Center, and thank you all for joining us. Real quick, what we'd like to do, I'll set the stage of how today's event will flow and let you know that you can ask questions throughout the Q&A box. Throughout today's program, what we'll do is we'll stop after each speaker, address any of those questions. I will facilitate and moderate those for you. So please use that function. This is your time to get those questions answered live. Also, this recording or this session will be recorded today, and you will have access to it as an attendee of today's session. We'll also be able to provide you the access links to all of the presentations. So stay tuned to that. We'll give you access to an online classroom that will host all of that. So first of all, I just wanted to review some of the programs and services that the Jacksonville Women's Business Center offers and let you know about the Jax Chamber Entrepreneur Ecosystem. So this is something we talk about and teach in the Jax Chamber's Entrepreneurial Growth Division, which is where the Jacksonville Women's Business Center is. So as you can see, our region has a very robust entrepreneurial ecosystem. We relate this a lot of times to Toronto and other areas across the country. And we're doing a pretty darn good job here in North Florida. And we've got the resources here to help you for that. So I always like to show you what that looks like. What are the stages of entrepreneurship and where are you? We always ask this question as well. So we know that there is the startup or the incubator stage, the visionary, then you have the growth, maturity, and eventually maybe transition where that could be a sale of your business. So those are things that we talk about and teach at the Jacksonville Women's Business Center and here at the Entrepreneurial Growth Division. So who the Jacksonville Women's Business Center is and what we're a part of is that North Florida Small Business Help. So as you can see on the screen, there's several logos here, some of which you've already worked with or been in partnership with. And those are the resources that are available to you at that link there, northfloridasmallbizhelp.org. We all work together and meet on a quarterly basis and talk about and strategize opportunities to be able to help you as entrepreneurs. So just so you can understand where the Jacksonville Women's Business Center sits in what I've referenced as the Entrepreneurial Growth Division. So we are hosted in the Jax Chamber. Now the Jax Chamber then has a foundation arm, which is the nonprofit end of the Jax Chamber, and that is where the Jacksonville Women's Business Center is. And that is because we are funded through a cooperative grant through the SBA. And we are very lucky to actually sit here with the North Florida District Office and have that access to boots on the ground that are here to be able to help you and aid you. So also in entrepreneurial growth, things that you may have heard before is our Small Business Center, which actually offers Achieve Your Business Dream in cooperation with SCORE, Jacksonville, as well as they have a small business orientation to give you a deeper dive into what I'm kind of talking about with our ecosystem. We also have the Jax Bridges program, which is a 6-month-long cohort program that you go through all of the different stages that you need as a business.
Oh, what is that? That's a shocker.
So next thing I want to reference is
She's on the patio.
some of the different things for the Jacksonville Women's Business Center, including that, we as the Women's Business Center are one of 100 women's business centers, over 100 business centers in the United States. Now, there's only 4 women's business centers in Florida, and Jacksonville is your closest women's business center. Like I mentioned before, we're funded through a cooperative grant with the Small Business Administration, allowing us to access and give you counseling and mentoring opportunities, entrepreneur education, and business connections, all at little to no cost. You also can see that we offer an entrepreneur certificate program. So what that certificate program entails is the different workshops and series you see there, including venture leadership, customer development, financial marketing and legal matters, as well as the peer pitch opportunity, teaching you those pitch deck opportunities that you may need when going out to find business and contracts. If you were to complete 4 of those 5 programs, they're listed, or excuse me, 6 programs, one of them is not bulleted, you receive what is shown there, an entrepreneur certificate. That gives you higher status in the Jax Chamber Foundation, higher status in our community, and shows that you've gone through that educational experience that we teach here in our community. Once you get to that very high level growth stage for your business, we offer something called Athena PowerLink. Now, this is offered through Athena International, and the Jacksonville Women's Business Center is the only organization in Northeast Florida offering this partnership. So what it is, it's a year-long business advisor opportunity that we assign you high-stake level business advisors in this community, and they really take apart your business and work with you, mentoring and counseling you along the way. Now, there's definitely qualifications, since I said that's kind of like the highest level stake of mentoring you can do with the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. And we have an online application link we'll share with you, and it has those qualifications there as well. Now, one thing we mentioned, one big qualification for Athena PowerLink is that you have to be 51% women owned. So that is one thing that we do require with that specific program. But what I do want to mention is, even though we are the Women's Business Center, we do not limit ourselves and we do not exclude males. We offer all of that education to them, but we do have the cooperative grant showing that the purpose in our mission is to support women entrepreneurs. So what do we have coming up? What's new? What are we doing? We're in this time of uncertainty, but also a time of pivot and transformation. So we have been working really hard digitally, and we're offering new technology, and our goal is to be one of the top ecosystems in the US. We're going to get an innovation space here soon too. So we're going to be bringing new resources to all of our entrepreneurs in the community. So stay tuned for that. We're very excited, and we'll have a lot of new announcements in the upcoming year. Last thing I want to share with you, and you'll have access to this, so don't feel that you need to screenshot or take pictures, but just wanted to give you some of those resource partners, the key ones we work with. So that's going to be the SBA SCORE Small Business Development Center, and then our Jax Bridges program that we've created. So these are the resource contacts for you, and I will share this with you as well. So just a little bit about the Jacksonville Women's Business Center to start. And now I'm going to transfer it over to Thaddeus Hammond, the U.S. Small Business Administration's North Florida District Office Economic Development Specialist. He's also our JWBC DOTAR, and he is the SCORE liaison for here in Jacksonville. So thank you very much, Thaddeus, for being here, and it will roll right into the beginning of the presentation. Excuse me. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Jackie. I really appreciate it. And on behalf of our new district director, Mr. Michael L. Barrera, who was just announced, I'd like to thank you for, again, starting us off with Q1 of our quarterly business forum. a forum series. It's going to be great. I'll have the pleasure of one of my colleagues, Ms. Natalie Hall, who is our veterans rep, will be on board to talk about SBA's programs and services. And she has a special guest with her. And so, but I'll let her do that. But again, just want to thank Jackie for the collaboration on this and other efforts. Really appreciate it and look forward to working with you more. So that being said, I won't get in the way because the only thing standing between you and supper is me and these other two guests. So I will turn it over to Miss Natalie Hall.
Awesome. Thank you, Thaddeus, for being here. Thank you for all of the work you do and for your support. And with that, Natalie, we have your presentation ready to go.
Okay, great.
You have access as well. So if you
So I have access.
Yep, you should be able to
Okay.
advance it at the bottom there.
All right. Okay, Jackie, tell me what to do. I'm sorry. So am I just sharing something? It says share screen. I just.
Nope. Can you see the screen where it's the SBA presentation? Can you see it, Brent? Am I sharing the right?
I see the Women's Business Center programs and services. Okay.
There we go.
Now I see
Sorry
SBA.
about that. Okay.
Okay. Now I just click the down arrow to go to the next slide.
You got it.
Okay, thank you. So hello, everyone. I am Natalie Hall with the U.S. Small Business Administration. I want to thank Jackie for inviting me to this event, giving me an opportunity to share information on the SBA programs and services. There may be a lot of you guys that are on this event that know a lot about SBA programs and services, but I'm just going to, go over it and give you an overview on the things that we do have available. So work with me. So okay. So I'm hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully I'm unmuted. So at the SBA North Florida District Office, our office is located here in Jacksonville, and our territory that we cover would be from Orange County down to the Panhandle. So in between that, we do cover 43 counties. So I'm an economic development specialist, and I'm also the Veterans Business Development Officer. So that's why I'm on this event with you today to talk about the veteran side of things. So with that being said, my role is to, talk to veterans and other community, other military services and individuals, as well as the spouses, to provide them with information about SBA programs and services on how we can assist them with starting or growing their business. You may have some individuals that may have an idea, but don't know what next step to take. Okay, so that's basically what my role is at SBA. And I'm also required to align myself up with community leaders and stakeholders that are veteran resources to help us get the word out. Because covering the 43 counties that we do have, it's hard for us to do it by ourselves. So that's why it's very important for us to have these relationships with these other veteran resources and outside veteran resources as well. Okay. Working together with our resource partners, which you guys are already introduced to one, which is the Women's Business Center. So with us working together, it helps us to get the word out to individuals that's looking to start a business or even grow a business or just have some ideas. And like I said, unfortunately, it's hard for us to do it on our own. So that's why it's so important for us to build those relationships to help individuals to start their businesses or to grow, to help their communities, as well as create jobs. Okay. So a lot of times you have to, you think about starting a business and you want to know what's your why, what drives you, what gets you up in the morning. So there could be a lot of things, that someone may be toying around with. There may be a lot of you that's on this event right now that has already started the business. Okay. But SBA, there's so many entry levels into entrepreneurship. Everyone may be coming in different and everyone may have different struggles, but we do have programs and services that's available to assist you. okay? A lot of times individuals tend to stay away because they feel like if I reach out to SBA, they're going to be there just to look over my shoulders, which is untrue. This agency was created, again, to help individuals start and grow a business. So if you're investing time and money in starting a business or growing a business, again, we want to make sure that you are successful, okay? And sometimes individuals will work with one of our resource partners and not understand that we partly fund them with partners and not know that they still have received support from SBA, okay? So the SBA works to ignite change and spark action to small businesses. So again, we want to help individuals start, grow, expand, and also to recover. Okay, so the SBA and our resource partner network. So as me being a veterans rep, I'm not the individual that's actually going to sit down with an individual, walk them through that process, help them to start that business, help them with that business plan. We have our network of resource partners that we do partly fund, and this is their role. Their role is to provide you with the free business mentoring and counseling as well as training. Now, the trainings may or may not come with a small fee, okay? So now I'm going to introduce you to the SBA Resource Partner Network, okay? You guys have already been introduced to one, which is the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. And once you learn about all of them, you just have to decide, you know, which one am I going to work with? If you're already working with one and you find out that someone is having an event that you would like to attend, you can do that. So you guys are already familiar with the Women's Business Center. If you're on this event, you probably got that information through the Women's Business Center, so you already have that contact. Again, this is one of SBA resource partners that we do partly fund, so they can turn around and provide you with that business support, okay? So the next one will be SCORE. The SCORE business mentors are volunteers. So a lot of them today still have and run their small business. Some have since sold their business, and some come from corporations. And basically, the SCORE organization, these men and women, they volunteer. So basically, that's their way of giving back. Okay. They also, again, provide the same support as the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. They will provide you with the free business mentoring as well as counseling. Again, they do offer workshops and trainings. Some may or may not have a cost to attend. The SCORE mentors have been a resource partner with SBA a little over 50 years, okay? And with SCORE, what they would do is when someone wants to connect and align themselves with a business mentor, they try to match them with someone from the same industry, okay? So again, this is the information to our SCORE business mentors, and their contact information is there. This information, this slide is showing Gainesville. Actually, it should be showing Jacksonville. So there is a Jacksonville SCORE chapter. Unfortunately, it's showing Gainesville, but if you wanted to get that information, you can just reach out to us or just get to sba.gov and plug in your zip code. So the Small Business Development Center is also another SBA resource partner. And again, it shows the Gainesville area, and there is a Small Business Development Center here at UNF, okay? For those of you that's not familiar with the Small Business Development Center, again, they're one of the SBA resource partners that will provide you with the free business mentoring as well as counseling, and they also provide trainings as well. Some may or may not come with a low cost to attend. Okay, so this will be the third SBA resource partner. And like I mentioned, a lot of times individuals have worked already with one of our resource partners and may not know that we partly fund them. So someone could be asked, hey, have you ever received support from the Small Business Administration? And they may say no, even if they work with the Small Business Development Center, SCORE, or the Women's Business Center. But that's why, you know, I try to go through and try to explain it as best as I can to let individuals know by working with them is still working with the Small Business Administration, okay? I'm seeing something. Okay. The gentleman that's going to come behind me is the director of the Veterans Business Outreach Center. So I'm going to let him share all of that information with you. So now you see that we do have the 4 SBA resource partners. Again, they are partly funded by the SBA to provide you with that support. Okay, so the only thing you have to do when it comes to picking one of the resource partners is to decide who you want to work with. Generally, when I'm in contact with someone and I'm providing all of this information, I tell the individuals, hey, check out everyone's website address, and whoever you feel that connection with based on the types of businesses that they have helped. Some individuals pick a resource partner on a location where they're at. So the best thing for me to share is, visit the website. And again, whoever you feel that connection with, please, reach out to them so you can work with them. And also, once you align yourself up with one of the SBA resource partners and you hear or see that another resource partner may be having an event that you're interested in, you can still attend an event. It doesn't mean you have to go and sit down and get connected with that other resource partner. But if you want to work with more than one, it's totally up to you. Okay. And lastly will be the SBA. Your SBA North Florida District Office is also a resource for you as well, and the website. Okay. So often our website does get changed with information. And for those of you that are not connected by way of plugging in your email address, I would suggest that you do take a moment to get onto the SBA North Florida website to plug your email address. So that way, when we're pushing out information on what's going on within SBA, new programs and things that are coming down the pipe, or even information about workshops and trainings that our 4 resource partners are putting on from January through December, you guys will be able to get this information. So if you're not connected, please take a moment to get onto the website and plug in your email address so you can receive this information. So the funding side of it. So the resource partners was the counseling side of SBA. Now this is the funding side. So our loan program is not direct. Many of you might know we do offer a loan program. So we have banks and other private lending institutions that do participate in our loan program. Okay, so they're the ones that you will have to approach directly for the loan application. But what we do is our main products, we can guarantee a loan. Okay, and what we do suggest is if anyone is in the looking to go after funding and you're not utilizing any support for that, we would suggest that you might want to work again with one of those resource partners. Other than them helping you to pull a business together, get a business plan and all of those other things that's involved, they're there to also help to get you bank ready. Okay, I know it's a lot of information, but basically everything that I'm talking to you guys about sharing can be found on the SBA website. So the loan program works, like I said, we have banks and other private lending institutions that actually participate in our loan program. And each lending institution is going to be different. Okay, so again, it just will be helpful to you that you work with one of the resource partners. A lot of times you have individuals that may decide, no, I don't need to work with a resource partner. I feel I have everything in place. I just need to find out who are those lending institutions that actually participate in the SBA loan program. Again, that information can be found on our website. I mean, it's just helpful information, knowing that you do have resources out here that's available to you that's going to help you to also get bank ready. Okay, so the loan programs, we have 2 that's our flagship programs, which is the 7A and 504. So again, you still have to go to a lender for the loan products. Okay, and I know this event is geared towards veterans, so it will still be the same process. If you're a veteran, spouse of a veteran, you still have to approach the lenders, okay, for that. And like I mentioned, working with one of the resource partners, because this is what they do on a daily basis. They help individuals that's looking to start, looking to grow, as well as looking to find financing. So if you feel like, okay, you know what, I'm ready to take my business to the next level, or I'm started and I need funding, Okay, now I need to decide what is that lender is going to look for. So by you working with one of the resource partners, they can assist you with that. They can walk you through that process. Okay, so the 7A and the 504, it shows what it can be used for: equipment, working capital, real estate and buildings, accounts receivable, and inventory. Okay, again, it goes into more details than what you're seeing on the screen about the 7A and the 504 loan program on our website. Okay, but again, working with one of the resource partners can only make your life that much easier. Okay. Okay, and so our loans can start from anywhere from about 500 and go up to as much as 5.5 million. So we do have the microloan program as well as the community advantage. Now, with both of those loan products, you wouldn't go to a just a regular lender. We do have the micro lenders and those lenders that do the community advantage loan products as well. Again, this information can be found on the SBA website, sba.gov. And like I mentioned, you can just plug in your zip code and it will get you to the North Florida, directly to the North Florida website. Or you can find the information on the national website again, which is sba.gov. So it shows the benefits, the benefit for the microloan as well as the community advantage. So some with the microloan product as well as the community advantage, you do have a lender that may do both of those products. So if someone approaches a micro lender and they feel that the product does not fall under the micro loan because maybe it's going to be over 50. So with the micro loan, that loan can start from about 500 and go up to 50,000. So maybe someone went to the micro lender but needed 100,000. So there the community advantage will come into play. And then that lender will let you know whether or not that's a product that's going to fall under the micro loan or the community advantage. And again, it just depends on the amount someone is looking to borrow. But with both of those products, they will provide you with technical assistance, meaning that they're not going to hand you a loan application and say, hey, get this to us. They're going to work you through the process. And here on the slide, it just shows you the benefits that it includes as far as the dollar amounts that the loans go up to that I did mention. Okay, so I'm just going to go on to the next slide. Again, like I mentioned, all of that information can and will be found on the SBA website. Okay, so outside of our counseling, the funding, now we're going to talk a little bit about contracting. So say, you have small business owners here that have been in business 2 years, 3 years, and now, I feel I want to take my business to the next level. Contracting is a great way to do that. I don't go into too much about that, but I just want to give you just a little bit just to let you know. Let's talk about the government on the government side, how much the government, the products and services that the government purchases. So if you see that the product or service that you provide that the government is buying, why not throw your name in the hat? Okay, and on the slides you see that they have set asides, okay, which makes it easier for someone to compete on the contracting side. But outside, just remember, outside of the federal government, you still have city, state, and local. So again, we can assist you with that. And like I said, contracting is a great way to take your business to the next level. There's a lot of information on our website about it. But I just wanted to just share to let you know that's another option within your business, because a lot of times individuals don't know, like, hey, I'm selling this product, but I can compete, with other companies to take my business to the next level. So that's where contracting will come in and, and assist someone with growing their business. Okay, so there's an initiative with elevating the rural businesses. So there's individuals that are in business, that are in a rural area, or someone that might be considering starting a business in a rural area that may not know that there is support for you. So again, don't go into too much details about it. You may want to find out, is the location that your business is in or will be in, is it considered a rural area? So again, that information can be found on the SBA website. Again, that will be sba.gov. And like I said, that's one of our initiatives that we do have, supporting those businesses that's in the rural areas, because a lot of times, I guess those individuals that are in those rural areas kind of feel left out. So now, it has been put on the radar, like, we have to make an initiative on this so we can help those businesses that are in those rural areas, and for individuals that's looking to start a business in a rural area. So again, when you do have some time, please visit the website to learn more information about if your business can apply for some of the support that's out there for those businesses that are in the rural areas. Okay, and we also have information on the opportunity zones as well in this territory. That information can also be found on the SBA website. There could be opportunity zones right here in the Jacksonville area. But like I said, on the website, it gives you more information. And once you find out that the business that you're looking to start or the business that you're in, maybe sitting in an opportunity zone, you can see what support that's available for you as well. So again, this information can be found on the SBA website, which will be sba.gov. Okay, so now I'm going to get into programs and services on the veteran side. Okay, so this slide right here just gives you some stats about the numbers. It shows 2.5 million of small businesses are owned by veterans. Okay, so a lot of times, I may come across someone that has started a business that is a veteran, but does not show anything in, when they're talking about their business or even in their marketing material, showing the fact that they are a veteran-owned small business. Okay, because some individuals feel like, once I transition out, that's it, put my DD 214 up, but it plays such a role. So if there's anyone that is in business that's listening to my voice and you are a veteran or a service disabled veteran, I hope that you are putting this information out there and letting individuals know that you do have that certification. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So this slide right here just gives you an idea of some of the businesses that will help along the way. I know the scale that these businesses sit on, but hopefully one day we would like to show a slide like this of veteran-owned businesses that are right here in our territory that we cover, from Orange County down to the Panhandle. Okay, so these businesses may have received support, financing, maybe they just received help with navigating, help with a business plan, contracting, or whatever. But this slide right here just showing some businesses that are owned by veterans that receive support from the Small Business Administration. And like I said, one day we'll look, hopefully we can have this same type of slide with businesses from our territory. Okay, so this is a program that we do have. I think Brenda's going to talk about it a little bit, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit. This is one of the programs that we do provide, which is called Boost the Business. It's a 2-day entrepreneurship training. Okay, this training is generally delivered at the military installations, and it's a 2-day training. Of course, everything that I'm showing you comes with no cost. Okay, so again, on our website, you can see the information on those Boost the Business programs. That Boost the Business program that we do have is basically the only program that I touch as a veteran business development officer. Okay, but we have other programs that is powered by the SBA. So this program right here, Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans, this is a training also that's available for our veterans. Is set up a little different from the Boost the Business training. And again, if anyone is interested in any of the programs that I'm showing, again, all of this information can be found on a website, or you can reach out to me directly. Okay, another program that we have is called VBOC. So the U.S. Small Business Administration always say that we don't discriminate. but this may be the only program that we do have that we discriminate a little bit, because this VWise program is only for the female service member or the female spouse. Okay, so I want to say that VWise program, the next one is going to be held in March, and I want to say it's going to be a virtual one. Okay, so it's going to be set up a little different. Generally, it's a classroom. No, the first 15 days is online training. Then you have the classroom attached to it, the conference. And then after you complete that, then you have the resources that is attached to you. Okay, so with that VWise training, if anyone is interested in that, any female that's interested in that training, anyone that I know that attended that training, everyone says the same thing. So if I piqued your interest a little bit, ladies, about that VWise program, just find out where it's at, because if it's not here in this area, you have to get yourself there, pay the registration, and everything else is on us. So this one shows the Accelerate Entrepreneur Bootcamp for Veterans. Okay, again, this is another training that is powered by the SBA. And again, it's a program that I don't touch. But again, there are so many programs that we do have for our veterans as well as spouses that are out there. And again, like I mentioned earlier, to stay connected, to see the things that we have coming up, the workshops and the trainings that's going on, please plug in your email address so all of this information can be shared. And so the last thing that I want to mention is the disaster assistance that I talked about when I said recover. So of course, right now, everyone is experiencing COVID-19. So right now, that is one of the main disasters that's happening. So SBA does have a disaster loan program. Outside of COVID-19, there are hurricanes and things like that that's happening now in the different areas as well. So with our disaster assistance, it's not ran through the district office where I'm from. There is an Office of Disaster Assistance that handles all of those disasters. So, and it's not just for small business owners, it's for someone that's renting or someone, it could be a homeowner. So to get more information on our disaster loan programs, again, please visit the SBA website. Even if there's a flooding in the area, but it has to be deemed a disaster, not through us. It has to come from the governor for that area to be deemed a disaster before things are set in place. And it just depends on what type of disaster. With COVID, is running a little different. But generally, if there's a disaster in the area, that team comes and set up in that area to help those small business owners, homeowners, as well as renters, okay? And a lot of times, of course, we don't like to talk about disasters, but they do happen. So I just wanted to share that we do have a disaster program. And again, to learn more information about our disaster assistance, that information can be found on the SBA website. Okay, and so that will be my last slide. My information is here. My phone number is here, 904-443-1902, as well as my email address, which is Natalie, NATALIE.HALL@SBA.gov. If there's anything that I ran through too quickly that you didn't understand, because I tend to get excited when I'm sharing information about SBA and our programs and services, please reach out to me and I will be more than happy to assist you. So before I turn the mic over and introduce you to Brent Peacock with the Veterans Business Outreach Center, I just want to share another thing. So one of the reasons why I asked everyone to to plug in their email address, because every year the SBA has an awards program that come out. So if you're in business and you want to compete for one of those categories, you need to know that, hey, it's open. So again, that's another reason why I ask everyone to go in, plug your email address so you can see the information on upcoming programs and services, okay? And that's about it. Oh, and the last thing, I should have said this first. I know you guys have your phones near you and you have your social media sites or whatever. Share this event. If anyone is not on this event right now, tell them they missed a whole lot, but they can always come back and go through the Women's Business Center or directly to the SBA to receive support. And I just wanted to share, if the individual is not a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, we still can assist them. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to stop it and turn it over to Jackie. So I guess she's going to introduce Brent. And thank you again, Jackie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Natalie. Truly appreciate you being here, offering the services that you do and for giving us all a little guidance. So thank you very much. I didn't see any questions come in along the way. So with that, we'll just go ahead and roll right into Brent Precock's presentation. He is the director of the Florida Veterans Business Outreach Center. And we are so lucky to have him here on today. He sits in Gulf Coast, Florida, but he is always in Jacksonville, always in North Florida, and he represents all of the state of Florida. So I know he's going to share a lot with us. So thank you, Brent, for being here. With that, take it away.
Thank you. Glad to be here. And thank you for helping us celebrate National Veteran Small Business Week. It started on the 6th, and we went an extra week. So we're going to actually end it tomorrow. And we've had a whole series of webinars, and we conclude one tomorrow with a friend of ours, Hank Pickin. Hank is a Vietnam-era veteran who started out with household products, ended up purchasing one, and now runs a company that was selected as Walmart's Veteran-Owned Small Business of the Year for 2019. And he's going to share his 5 words of wisdom. And all the other webinars we've had during the week are recorded on our website, which is www.victorbravooscarcharlie.org. As was stated, we do serve all of Florida's 67 counties. We assist veterans, active duty military, National Guard and reservists, and military spouses, as well as transitioning military members, which is one of our key focus groups right now. And we are always in Jacksonville. One of our key deliverables is teaching a Department of Defense class during transition called Boots to Business. Back in 2013, the DoD decided to make a change to how the transition assistance program was being delivered. Traditionally, you get a job, go to college. But they thought that it would be nice to have something about entrepreneurship, about veterans starting and growing their own businesses. You know, like that greatest generation of veterans after World War II who came back, ignited the economy, built the steel, built the ships, built the airplanes, built the factories, and really built a huge, vast, and successful economy. And veterans being able to do that again. So the Boots to Business program was developed by Syracuse University's Institute for Veteran and Military Families, IVMF. They're also the group that does the VWISE, the EBV, EBVF, and some of the other programs, but they put together the curriculum. And so that's taught on every military base, CONUS and OCONUS, and we cover the 12 bases in Florida. Eglin Air Force Base, Herbert Field, NAS Jacksonville, Key West, MacDill Air Force Base, Mayport, NAS Panama City, Patrick Air Force Base, NAS Pensacola, Tyndall Air Force Base, Southcom, and Whiting Field. And we do that on a quarterly basis. So we could be doing between 39 to 52 events per year. And like with everybody else with COVID, we've had to kind of pivot a little bit and do a lot of these in a virtual format. Slowly but surely, some of these bases are starting to open up with lots of social distancing so we can be able to teach them in public, but we can still do it in a virtual format. We also have assisted the SBA's Office of Veteran Business Development, my office, with teaching a class called VTAP. It's the Virtual Transition Assistance Program for all the Navy worldwide. My colleagues and I teach that class too, and that's also another exciting thing that we've done. So that's a little bit about, you know, what we do, who we serve, and we are always in Jacksonville. And we cover the whole Sunshine State, work with every veteran and military spouse who's trying to start or grow a small business, even if you're in the ideation phase. The idea of starting a business sounds better than going to work. Or maybe I'm with a company and I'm the one who makes it rain. Why don't I just open up my own business and keep all the money myself? Whatever your motivation, that's where it all starts. Are you controlling the slides, Jack? You want me to? There we go. So we're going to talk about veteran entrepreneurship, what the VBOC does, and our free resources. Here are some photographs of some military spouses and female veterans we've worked with. If you see the 3 ladies with their arms around each other, that's a group who formed a very unique business after our Hurricane Michael back about 2.5 years ago. Actually, not quite 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago and a few months ago. They formed a company called Soul Sisters. It's two military spouses. One of them actually is an Air Force veteran. And they were picking up and collecting hurricane debris. And we're putting on classes on how to make art out of broken signposts and fences and different things. And we started working with them. And I mentioned the idea of buying a franchise, one called Board and Brush. And they liked the idea. So they went ahead of the competition, were approved for a loan, and now they own a Board and Brush franchise in downtown Panama City. The gentleman in the gray t-shirt is a military spouse who formed a very successful company where he would integrate online platforms into providing religious services and content. We see one of our veteran chefs up there who started the company. And the three ladies there at the bottom of the thing is a Air Force captain out of Eglin Air Force Base who started a home-based business and was wildly successful. And she employed military spouses to help her until she was, whether her husband was transferred. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about, the veterans and the female veterans that we work with and what they've been able to do with our assistants and the military spouses. Some more statistics for you, talking about the veteran population in general. Does this, not bad for 6% of the US population to be able to account for 3.7 million businesses. Veterans make great business owners, male and female alike. Veterans and their spouses, female spouses that is, and male spouses, have had to transition and reinvent themselves many times. And they've got the wherewithal, to have the skill set to be good entrepreneurs. We provide some of the technical assistance and teach them the steps and do the hand-to-hand delivery of business counseling, reviewing business plans, helping them with capability statements for government contracting, helping them to decide how much money they need, helping them to form a feasibility statement. And a lot of the veterans that we work with are very pre-venture, just separating active duty and are looking to start something new. So we're willing to go all the way back to the very beginning and discuss concepts and pre-venture to try to get them up to speed with where they need to be before they approach a lender. And we also utilize all of the other resource partners that were mentioned today, the Women's Business Center, Small Business Development Center, and SCORE chapters, where they work with everybody. We only work with veterans and military spouses who live in Florida. We're one of 22 offices nationwide. Okay. Let's see, let me advance that. Here we go. These are some successful women-owned businesses. One of my favorites is a new one called Troopster. Chelsea Mandela is still an active duty Navy veteran. And her company delivers care packages. And she tells the story in one of the videos at the Office of Veteran Business Development that when she was deployed on a ship in the Navy, she would get her packages and there would be so much damage to them that she'd open up a package from home, be all broken to pieces, the food would be spoiled. So she found a better way to deliver the product to those active duty military members. And Troopster is the name of that company. You might be familiar with R Riveter. They make really nice purses and handbags started by a couple of military spouses. Phyllis Newhouse, Army veteran, with Extreme Solutions. They do huge government contracts, as well as Technical and Project Engineering, LLC, owned by Louisa Long Jaffe, an Army veteran. Minutemen Press, another one there, an Air Force veteran. A lot of contract work. And of course, Nikki Jensen is a family member of a veteran, female family member, who started Warrior Flask Company. And there's lots more. These are just some that you might have been familiar with. These are all female veterans who have really excelled in the veteran space and in entrepreneurship. And I show you that because I want you to know if they can do it, you can too, and we're going to help you. These are some local companies. You'll see two of them there in the bottom corner. It's Pam Wilcox. She owns a bridal shop. She separated from the Navy out of Mayport. And the other one is a veteran who bought a business that makes trophies and plaques and awards near, I think, Mayport. and she was able to buy an existing business after going to work there, and was able to upgrade it, get newer materials and newer equipment, and move ahead. And these are just two of our Jacksonville-based success stories that we've worked with. You'll see the couple up in the top corner, a military couple that started a bagel company here in Panama City about 15 years ago. After Jim the bagel maker there, Jim Hayden, separated from the Air Force, he bought an existing business and learned to make bagels and really made that into a very successful company. And you'll see the little table there. That is one of our entrepreneurs who is a military family member who made this whole line of beach accessories and tables, an ingenious inventor. She's got lots of inventions that she works with. And that's just some of the clients that we work with that we want to highlight. As I said, there are 22 VBOCs across the country. We were the very first one. When I started back in 2008, there were 4 VBOCs: California, Texas, New York, and Florida. At that time, we covered the entire Southeast. So we're no stranger to virtual consulting. We might work at that time with a veteran in Tennessee, and then a veteran in Miami, then a veteran in Kentucky, then a veteran in Atlanta, Georgia, all on the same day. But Mertel's Gifts and Awards in Jacksonville is the company that was purchased, and that's near NS Jacks. So you might have shopped there before. That's actually purchased by one of our clients that we worked with. So our job is to help with that transition from military service to entrepreneurship, and to step that veteran through the process so they have the wherewithal and the tools to add to their acumen, their understanding, their hard work, their dedication, their working in teams, all those things that veterans bring to business. We help them to realize that by helping them with the technical skills to become successful. Okay. One of our greatest resources, especially during times of COVID, is our website and our online training. This is kind of a screenshot of our training, our basic training, and also some of the events that we had and are having during National Veteran Small Business Week, which we started on the 6th and have extended through to tomorrow when we have our final one. We try to have a couple of 3 per week to celebrate the event. In years past, we'd usually have one big session here at the college and have maybe 50, 60 people come and have a roundtable event. But we found that with our own ability to pivot and do things in a virtual platform, we can do a lot more. I wonder if things are ever going to change, if we're ever going to go back to in-person real-time meetings. Who knows? Only time will tell. But while we're doing this, we've exploited the opportunity to be everywhere at once and do more. Our basic training page can literally walk any veteran entrepreneur through the steps of how to start a Florida-owned business, to government contracting, getting information on what type of insurance to buy, how to put together your bail team. A bail team is a clever acronym made up of the words banker, accountant, insurance agent, and lawyer. People that you'll need in your company to bail you out when you get in trouble. When you need to know a lawyer, before you need one. When you need to know a banker, before you need a loan. So you need to establish relationships and processes with these bail team members before you actually need them. And that's all part of starting and growing and developing a business and going from ideation to concept to feasibility to actually launching your company. Okay. This is kind of a snapshot of all the different type of training we have broken down into categories. We have some blogs that we write about various things, as well as our Boots to Business schedule. We have a whole little page dedicated to the new COVID loan programs, how many loans have been closed, new procedures, new processes, different disaster type things. We've got workshops on startups, buying franchises, writing business plans, government contracting, putting together your bail team, buying the right kind of insurance, finding the right kind of banker for your industry, finding the right kind of lawyer for your industry. All these things are important, and these topics are organized in such a way that it's easy to follow, to take you from every stage, from pre-venture to plan to growth, on to government contracting, even as far as selling your business and buying an existing business concern. We have things that are dedicated to that, to be there for you if you want a little bit more in this new and growing virtual world. Okay. You know, a lot of times people ask, what kind of businesses do veterans start? And it's everything that you can think of, from barbecue to government contracting to online merchandise, repairing, building furniture. I mean, anything you can think of. But another great avenue for veterans and military spouses to explore is that in government contracting. We have an in-house specialist in government contracting. You'll see there pictured is Dave Atano. He owns Coquille. And when you're trying to start a business, as you well know, what you need to do is find out what problem exists and find a better way to solve that problem. Well, for Dave, that problem was garbage, refuge. So he was able to put together a successful company hauling refuse and garbage and won contracts with FEMA, with local airport administration, with the Navy base, with the Air Force base, and make that garbage hauling a very successful business. And we helped him all along the way. We've got a whole online portal that walks you through processes on how to get started with government contracting, how to identify your company as one of those 4 special programs that Natalie talked about, whether it be 51% owned and operated by a woman, whether it be 51% owned and operated by a service-connected disabled veteran, whether it be 51% or more owned or operated by a person, or in our case, a veteran living in a hub zone, or whether it be a company veteran-owned that's owned and occupied by a minority or somebody who meets the categories to be in the 8A program. We help to steer you in that direction as well as how to look for set-asides within those 4 categories. Set-asides are contracts that are put out by the procurement officer, the small business officer, to only be for only those 2 companies that can meet the requirements, whether they be woman-owned, service-connected disabled veteran, hub zone, or 8A. And we help with all that, as well as putting together a capability statement, and all that kind of stuff can be found, as well as in-person counseling on the phone with our government contracting specialist here in office. So that's one really unique avenue that we have that really helps a lot of veterans with government contracting, taking something that they're already doing and launching their product or service to the federal, state, or local government, or county government even, because the government buys lots of things. And we work with that active duty military member, that separating military member, or that veteran, both male and female. And for today's purposes, we're going to talk about the female veterans and the female military spouses that we work with. And many of them have been very successful in government contracting. Next slide. Okay. We offer free resources, and we talked a little bit about the Boost to Business program. And that's where we actually either go to the base, or now we do it virtually, and work directly with separating or retiring military members and spouses. There's also another program called Boost to Business Reboot. It's the same thing as Boost to Business, but it's offered one day, and it's offered off a base, so anybody can attend. We're doing some of those virtually as well. But the Boost to Business program is kind of one of our key components that we do by reaching out to that separating service member who just has an idea. Maybe they need to go to work for a while in the industry to learn a little more about it. Okay, well, that could be delayed by a year or so. Or maybe they're retiring, have put aside a nest egg, have always wanted to open up a company, and just don't know the technical aspects of writing a business plan, forming a legal entity, putting together a loan package. We help with all that. We can provide market research. We can help you to put together a comprehensive feasibility study to make sure that your business idea actually has legs or has wheels, whatever you want to call it. And if not, to find out what part of that might work. I can recall a story. We worked with a veteran who had this great idea for stress relief, where you take a little box that he kind of created, and in the box is like a little golf pencil and a little scroll of paper, and you write down all your problems. And you wrap that paper around a little rock that's put inside the matchbox, and you throw it over your shoulder. Now that evidently is symbolic of throwing away and letting go of your problems. And that's a good idea, a good concept. But the problem was knowing how to market that. And so one of our business analysts who was working with that client said, well, getting shelf space in a retail store, it's going to be hard to convince the store to set aside retail space for your product. So why not let's try something different? Can you find an app developer to put together maybe an app that does the same thing? So we said, well, actually, my nephew does that. So we got it with his nephew and put together an app that sold for 99 cents, where you open the app, you write down your problems, push a little button, and a little rock goes into the water and it goes boop. So it's the same thing. And that was able to make some money. Where the idea of writing the problem down on the paper and throwing it over your shoulder was probably more akin to littering, there's still a way that you can do something. Maybe if it's not what you originally thought, that's what a comprehensive feasibility analysis will do for you. It'll say, okay, this is a good idea, but maybe if you maybe angle it a different direction, or maybe pivot a little bit and do it a little bit differently. Or maybe your market isn't the federal government. Maybe your market's the school board. Oh yeah. Another veteran we worked with in North Carolina when we covered that whole 8-state region bought a franchise to repair furniture. And he found out that the school board, the district there, didn't have a lot of money, but still had the need, for desks and chalkboards and that kind of thing. And students would put bubble gum under it and carve Bobby Loves Sue in the desk and whatever. And so he would, with his franchise, go in during the summertime and fix and repair all those desks. And then he'd go to the next school. And that's all he did. He only worked about 3 months out of the year and made enough money to support himself because he didn't know where to point his business idea. That's part of a comprehensive feasibility analysis we can help you with. We can help you put together a business plan and focus more on the business planning, a little bit less on the business plan. Kind of take away some of the mystery of it and help you to plan for what you want to do, how much money you need to borrow, how much money you already have, what you can make do without, what you can leverage as far as things you already have. And you may find out that that $100,000 you need to borrow might quickly turn into $35,000. That's all part of what we offer as our business consulting services. We can help with government contracts, as I mentioned, and any technical assistance like filling out applications, doing things to move ahead with working with the 8A program and the different type of agencies, filing LLCs, knowing what type of corporate structure to form. We can help with that. And the bail team is who you really need to seek out with after we give you advice, and make sure, because they get paid for that and they're experts in that regard. And we want to make sure that you know what to ask your bail team, because if you don't know what to ask, they're not much good to you. So by working with the Sba Resource Partners, the Women's Business Centers, core chapters, and small business development centers, as well as VBOC, we're going to help you to know what to ask your banker, your accountant, your lawyer, and your insurance agent. Instead of saying, what do I need? Say, what type of business entity should I set up? I don't have a lot of liability, little chance for lawsuit. I don't want to have a large cumbersome structure, and let them guide you. And so by us doing some of that technical assistance for you, you're able to move ahead and make good decisions and save yourself lots of time. Okay. You can reach out to us. Before we work with you, we need to have a form agreeing that you know that we don't sell anything to you, we don't share your information, or we don't provide your information to anybody, or we don't refer you to people who we have a vested interest in as far as making money. And that form can be found at our website, www.victorbravooscarcharlie.org. We have a toll-free number listed there, 800-542-7232. That's my email address, bpeacock@gulfcoast.edu. And we look forward to helping all veterans, all female veterans and female military spouses, to fulfill their dream of business ownership and entrepreneurship. Because the way I like to say it, when you separate military service, you got two avenues. You can get a job, have income for life and retirement, or you can start a business, have income for life, retirement, with hopefully an asset to sell at the end. Are there any questions that I could respond to, Jackie.
I don't see any questions in the Q&A box right now, but with that, I am going to open it up for all Q&As. So any questions you have for Natalie with the SBA, with Brent with the VBOC, myself with the Jacksonville Women's Business Center, please use this time now to ask questions. Let us know if there's anything you need clarification on or anything you need from us. And thank you all for being here. As previously mentioned in the beginning, this session was recorded. You will have access to it preceding today's workshop, along with the contact information that we've shared along the way. So Brent, thank you for your presentation, and we will all hold tight, the three of us will hold tight for any questions coming in. I know that we are ending the session a little bit early, so please use this time to open questions, get the resources, have access to us that we've allotted this time for you. So let us know what we can do to assist you, maybe during this challenging time.
Could I add a couple of other things that might stir up some conversation?
Sure.
Let's say that you've got an idea to start a business and you don't really have a clear definition of who your market might be. And you think that maybe your market might be one group when really it's another. I'll illustrate with an example. We have a Iraqi war veteran, an Air Force veteran, who, to kind of alleviate some of the PTSD, started writing children's books. And he found a local illustrator and put together 3 or 4 really, really good children's books about fish and sea creatures and that kind of thing. And without doing the proper research, he wouldn't necessarily know who his target market is. Now, you might think that the target market for children's books, now, of course, the end user is the kid, but you might think the target market would be the parents. But during the research we did for him, we found out that the actual target market are grandparents. There's a local pre-Christmas festival that's sponsored here in Panama City called Holly Fair. And he signed up as a vendor, took a few boxes of his books, and sold every one of them because he had the right market research to know where his market lies and who his market was. So those are just some examples of the type of intel we can get you. We've got access to a resource called IBIS World, probably the world's best business intel. We can get industry reports to kind of give you an idea of what you need to do, what type of resource partners you need to have within your business, where the business is trending, and that kind of research can be used in your business plan. And it also can be a go, no-go as to whether you want to pursue this or maybe take it in a different direction. And all this is provided for you at no cost.
That's awesome. Thank you, Brent, for telling those stories and to make it feel very real, because it is. I know sometimes, everybody's doing a lot of virtual learning and workshops and training, but to be able to show and tell those authentic stories about here at AS Jax, Mayport, it's really cool, and it brings it home for us. And you representing the entire state of Florida, for everybody that's on today's call, it just shows you, you have a resource here that has opportunities for you as you grow and the potential for you. So we all can offer that. As I mentioned too, with the Women's Business Centers, we are one of over 100 women's business centers in this country. Same thing with the SBA. So, use us definitely, because we are all over the place and we are free counselors, free mentors. I see a couple questions came in, 2 of which are fairly similar. Questions about grants, the hot topic of today's world. So are grants available? What are the process? And then how do you find information? So I have one lady that Stacey's mentions, I'm a minority, I'm a female, and I'm a disabled veteran. She thinks she fills all the boxes. So where does she go get that?
Can I answer that one? There are no federal grants for starting a business. Grants are for nonprofits, social services, or research and development, and usually are won by universities or higher institutions of learning. Although the USDA oftentimes does have grant programs. And I have a story about that too. Up here in the Panhandle, there's a little town called Bonifay. I think there's about 19 people who live in Bonifay. No, it's real little. Well, it's a farming community. And this active duty soldier returned home to take over the family blueberry farm. Well, all he really knew about farming was when he was a kid picking the blueberries. So he called me and asked if there were any grants. I said, well, I don't know. There might be because it's ag. Well, I looked it up, and sure enough, there was a grant for looking for a company that can produce a certain amount of blueberries to do a study to see what the carcinogenic properties of blueberries are. So you had to be able to produce so many blueberries to do the study. I gave him the information. He applied for and won that grant for 1 year to produce blueberries to do a regional study to see what the anti-cancerous benefits of eating blueberries were. And that's a very unusual, rare example of a grant. So USDA might have some grants, but for the most part, grants are going to go to colleges and universities, the military, or organizations. If you have a nonprofit, the easiest way to move forth is to provide what you do to a larger nonprofit and be the provider of them under their umbrella instead of trying to form your own nonprofit, because nonprofits are just as hard as running a for-profit business, but you've got to deliver. And the IRS is really looking at nonprofits with lots of scrutiny. And the true beauty of a nonprofit is to offer something that the commercial marketplace doesn't offer, and to do something to make the world a better place. And if you can find a way to deliver that under the umbrella of an existing not-for-profit company or agency rather, do that instead, because you're still getting your service delivered or your product, and you're not having to take as much risk. And at the end of the day, what you want to do is help that person that you want to help, whether it's you doing it or you doing it under the auspices of a prevailing umbrella group. Does that answer a lot of the questions about grants?
Okay.
I think
Can I
that's
share something?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
And I just wanted to share, I mean, you have those that's like, somebody keep telling me there's grants out there, there's grants out there. There is a website that if you want to take the time to navigate through that website, it is grants, grants.gov. And if you find that there is a grant that's out there for someone that's looking to start a business or grow a business, minority, veteran, or whatever, please share it with me so I can share it with others. But that is an official website, grants.gov. And I just want to share, if you go on that website, you will see the Small Business Administration information there. We provide grants to individuals like our resource partners so they can turn around and provide support to you guys. So I will share that you will see SBA, but those grants are not for individuals looking to start or grow a small business.
Thank you both. That is absolutely what I was going to say, Natalie, was, go to grants.gov to make it real for everybody too. That's just like Natalie mentioned, that's how the women's business centers are funded. So we, every, year or 3 years, depending on our grant opportunities, we apply just like everybody else through grants.gov. And, just wanted to mention that because some exciting news is that the SBA administrator, Jovita Carranza, has approved 8 new women's business centers to be implemented across our nation. So that is super exciting. It, came across because of a grant opportunity and because of, the Small Business Administration. So we have other communities applying for women's business centers, just like you all. But as Brent mentioned, though, going back to that too, is like, you got to mine, and you can type in keywords. There's things that we do as well when we're looking for opportunities, maybe in rural areas or opportunity zones. You type in blueberries, you never know what's going to come up. So it is absolutely so true, and that is the best story you could possibly tell. I think sometimes people laugh too. When we're like, go to grants.gov, it's that is how you were going to find those opportunities. Now, aside from that, we did share the loans. Now, there's loan opportunities different from grants that we want to make sure that everybody's clear about. So if any of that you need a refresher on, the SBA offers tons of workshops that are no cost, just like this. And they go over the 8A process, those set-asides for WOSB, which is Women-Owned Small Business, or EDWOSB, Economically Disadvantaged Women-Owned Small Business. So there are set-asides, there are loans. Grants you find through grants.gov.
One thing to be aware of too is there are a lot of people out there who say, if you come to my workshop and pay $500, I will look for you a grant. And that's what they'll do. They'll look for one, knowing full well there's not one. Oh, by the way, they'll cash your check and they'll leave town, because grants are not necessarily for-profit businesses. Now, sometimes you might can find some grants from like the Kiwanis Club or small community type based things like that to help people out. But my focus was on federal grants. But there could be community-based grants, to help people to relocate and to set up businesses in and to refurbish a downtown area. The local Tourist Development Council might have, some grant opportunities on a local basis. So you might want to check with your chambers of commerce and see if there's any grants available.
Yes, thank you, Brent. That's a great point too. So, going back to what Natalie mentioned with the funding opportunities and getting in contact with those financial institutions, that's something we share at the Chamber of Commerce as well, that having those relationships, having a business banker, aside from your personal banking, separate those accounts, but have that business banker, build that relationship. They're going to share with you those local opportunities, those the bridge loan process that we just had, during COVID, all of those local ViStar did something, St. Johns County had a CARES program. Those are going to be shared by building relationships, by attending these workshops, seeing the resource partners, talking to us, because we are the ones that have the resources to those financial institutions that come from the SBA. So it's relationship building. I know I see familiar names here today in today's workshop. So, keeping that life alive, that relationship alive is vital to your success. I saw some thank yous come in. So thank you both definitely for your time and answering those questions as well. With that,
thank you for having us.
I see we still have some folks in here. So if anybody, don't be shy. If you have a question you want to get, if you want to ask. Also, if you are shy, that's okay. We're going to share the contact information with you. You'll be able to access Natalie or Brent, send them an email or pick up the phone and call them. We're not hidden people. We are resource partners. We're out there for you. So thank you all for your time. With that, we will stop recording. We will share with you the link for the recording, the presentations, and contact information tomorrow. And thank you all for being here. Happy Veterans Day to all of you who are, and have a great rest of your week.
Happy National Veterans Small Business
Bye-bye.
Day too.
Yes, thank you, Brent.
And I'll second that. Okay, thank you again. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, thank you.